Most people don't lose discipline because they're weak. They lose it because they're tired, overwhelmed, or quietly fighting a system inside themselves they never learned to understand. Maybe you felt it too, that moment when you wake with a quiet promise, today will be different. And for a few hours, it is. But then life happens. Your energy dips, distractions grow, and the discipline you worked so hard to build slips through your fingers again. Let me ask you something. What if your discipline never failed? What if your approach did? Most people think discipline is a matter of force. Push harder, try again, keep grinding. But pressure creates one predictable outcome: resistance. When your expectations rise faster than your capacity, your nervous system enters a quiet survival mode. You feel it as procrastination, as emotional numbness, as that sudden heaviness that makes even simple tasks feel impossible. You start strong, but break suddenly. And the moment you break, the guilt arrives. Why can't I stay consistent? Why do I always ruin my progress? Why do I feel tired all the time? But here's the truth. Many people never realize you're not fighting laziness, you're fighting your internal safety system. Your body is not built to obey unlimited demands. It's built to protect you from overwhelm. And when you ignore those limits long enough, discipline becomes a cycle of starting, crashing, and blaming yourself. Let me ask you gently, have you ever pushed yourself so hard that even the things you care about started feeling heavy? Let's slow down for a moment and look at what actually happens inside your brain when you try to be disciplined. Your nervous system has two primary modes: a regulated state and a protective state. In a regulated state, your mind feels safe, present, open to effort. This is where discipline lives. But in a protective state, your brain prioritizes survival, meaning it shuts down non-essential effort, reduces motivation, and pushes you toward escape behaviors like scrolling, snacking, avoiding, or numbing out. This isn't a character flaw, it's biology. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for discipline, only works well when your system feels safe. But when you overload yourself with pressure, signals shift to the amygdala and stress circuits. Your brain moves from "I can do this" to "I need relief." This is why extreme routines collapse. This is why motivation fades. This is why "just try harder" has never worked. Your brain doesn't respond to force. It responds to rhythm. Tiny, repeatable actions regulate the nervous system. Each small completion releases just enough dopamine to reinforce the behavior without overloading your energy. This is why sustainable discipline feels gentle, because it's built in harmony with how your brain is wired. Let me ask you something real. When was the last time you chose a discipline system that your nervous system could actually sustain? Here's the shift most people never make, the shift that changes everything. Discipline is not a battle between you and your habits. It's a relationship between you and your nervous system. If you approach discipline as warfare, you will always lose, because you cannot fight yourself into consistency. But if you approach discipline as a partnership, everything softens. Everything becomes possible. Consistency grows not from intensity, but from alignment. Not from harsh self-talk, but from clear self-understanding. Not from forcing more, but from repeating small. Most people think discipline is about effort, but sustainable discipline is about design. How you design your energy, your environment, your expectations, and your pace. When you design your system to match your humanity, discipline stops being a fight and becomes a rhythm. Ask yourself this: what if being disciplined didn't mean being harder on yourself, but being more in tune with yourself? Let's turn this insight into something simple, gentle, and repeatable, a discipline system your nervous system can trust. 1. The one promise rule. Instead of building 5 habits, choose one. One promise you can keep every day, even on your lowest days. 10 minutes of deep work, a short walk, a tiny study block, one page of reading. You build identity not through intensity, but through consistency. 2. The minimum version. Every habit needs a minimum version, a tiny fallback that still counts. If you plan 10 minutes, do 2. If you plan to work out, stretch. If you plan to journal, write 1 line. Small counts, small builds, small sustains. 3. Environment over willpower. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Reduce friction. Make starting easy. Prepare your space before motivation appears. Your environment is your silent partner in discipline. 4. Gentle weekly review. No judging, no shaming, just noticing. When were you steady? When were you overwhelmed? What drained you? Awareness improves behavior. Shame destroys it. If discipline has always felt heavy, maybe it wasn't meant to be heavy. Maybe your system has been asking not for stricter routines, but for gentler rhythms. Let me ask you, what is one small promise you can keep every day without fear, pressure, or perfection? And another question, one that opens a new door. Who would you become if you kept that one promise for the next 30 days? Real strength is quiet. It's built in small, steady moments where you choose alignment over pressure, clarity over chaos, and gentleness over self-punishment. You don't need to transform overnight. You just need to begin from a place of understanding. One calm change a day. That's better daily.